on this computer. Okay, so welcome everybody to 3 easier ways to increase your business in 2018. And I guess these tools that we're going to talk about today will actually create more than just in 2018. And that's the first rule of business, is about creating for your future. So when we're looking at business, you really need to be creating for your future and not just to be paying the bills at the end of the week. Hello, my name is Liam Phillips. That's just an added extra. My partner in crime, I'll let him introduce himself. He's on the other side of the Tasman because I'm in New Zealand. He's in Australia. Andrew.
Yes, hi, I'm Andrew Reid. Yes, as Liam said, I'm the other side of the Tasman in Australia, or as we like to call it, Australia.
Yeah. If you have any problems with our Aussie accents, tough luck, love. I was going to swear there, but I have promised that in Tasters I am no longer going to swear because it does turn a few people off.
Oh, that's bullshit.
So, yeah, welcome everybody. And as I was saying earlier, it's really, really exciting because 10 minutes before this, I got a message from somebody saying that they couldn't sign up for the class because we had reached our limit on the email account. Now, that has never, ever happened to me before. So, woohoo! What a great
wow
to have. How does it get any better?
Wow. Oh, so does that mean you've got to start paying for MailChimp now?
Possibly. Damn. Yeah, and this is one of the things that we look at in business. Is a lot of business is looking at the problems rather than, God, what would it take to have a problem like that? What would it take to have the problem to pay too much tax? In 2016, I paid more money in tax than I had paid the previous 7 years in my business. And holy moly, God, I was so glad I took my own advice that I gave to you at the beginning of always planning for the future, and I put away 95% of the tax, so it wasn't too big a deal to pay at the end of it.
How does it get any better than that?
So, yeah.
So Liam, you had a few clearings you were going to run.
Yeah. What we thought we might do this taster class a little bit differently, because we've got a 3-month business class coming up later on, and we were looking at how to create that in a totally different way. And we thought, well, if we actually start right from the word go with this taster class, so what we're going to do is we're going to spend a few minutes doing some clearings first, and then I'm going to do that bit. And then Andrew is going to introduce you to 3 amazing tools. All of these tools are based from, especially the clearings and the questions that I was going to say Gary and Andrew is going to talk about. They're all from something called Access Consciousness. If you're new to this, you can check out the clearing statement, which we'll be using in a few minutes. It's at what is it? Where is it, Andrew?
It's at theclearingstatement.com, which really just forwards you to the Access website and clearing statement page.
Yeah, and that will give you more of an idea of how that works. But basically, what we have found is that when you have a particular point of view, it stops you from receiving anything other than that point of view. If you have a judgment, it stops you from receiving anything other than what that judgment allows you to receive. If you have a decision that you've made, it's very difficult to change it often because you set it in concrete. And so what the clearing statement does is bring up those points of views, judgments and decisions, and then clears it so that you can have a different point of view. Okay? So I'm not going to use a business example here. I'm going to use a relationship example. And what I found in relationship is I was always looking at it from my point of view and never from the other person's point of view. So when things weren't working for me, what I would tend to do is I would turn into an arsehole so I could override their point of view rather than look at their point of view, and that would create a lot of relationship hassles and dis-ease and unease in bodies, in relationship, in money flows, and even in my business. And so when I became more aware of this, I then chose to change it. And that's the first thing that we do is you've got to choose to change it. So once I became aware of that, I could choose to change it. And then I'm not in that pattern that my point of view was creating. So let's do a clearing. Yes, Andrew.
Isn't your point of view the right one?
Isn't my point of view what?
The right one?
Well, that's a judgment, my friend.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
So basically, I was being an asshole by always being right, never being willing to see the other point of view. And we do that in business all the time. And so that's not much fun. So what I found, and this is a little bit of a story that occurred to me this morning. And so I've been working with my business and with relationship within business. And I've been running, and what I recognize is a lot of the time that I am trying to get out of this reality, like trying to stay in bed for the longest amount of time possible because I don't want to get up and meet this reality. Get as drunk as possible so I don't have to deal with this reality. Put stuff that my business requires to the side, like tax or payment to people or whatever, and put that to the side. Whoever is crunching in the background, could you mute yourself, please? You seem to be shuffling some papers or something.
It's still going. Oh.
I'm muting everyone now. Oh, I'm evil. That seems to be okay. That's good. Thank you so much. And so where was I? Can you remind me, Andrew? Blah blah blah. I was in a story.
I'm sorry. I was trying to find the person who was making the noise.
Yeah. So I was looking at this relationship stuff and where I was trying to get out of this reality. Any way that I could get out of it or avoid it, like I love mountain bike riding, so that's okay. I'll have that. But I don't want to deal with somebody that's having a problem with part of my business. Because that's whatever the reason, whatever the point of view. And then I realized that that I was trying to avoid or resist and react to this reality's point of view of business. So this business reality. And I went, oh my God, business for me, I've brought all these ideas about what business is in this reality. Business is hard work. Business is stuff that you've got to take care of. Business is very important. Business is boring. I don't want to do this part of business. I don't want to do this, etc., etc., etc. And so I ran this clearing. Now, it is an advanced clearing, so I'll spend 2 minutes just explaining it, but we'll run the clearings first of all. What jail are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the comfortable distance of with business reality, or the reality of business, and everything that is, will you now destroy and uncreate it all?
Right, run good bet, all nine park and pod shorts, boys and beyond.
Thank you, Mr. Podpot. And so the jails are this is where you're using judgments, your agendas, your inventions, and all these lies that are in place. And then equals MC squared is that part of where you've made everything about business, everything about you, evil, and that is based on mediocrity and corruption. So everywhere where you're corrupting yourself and everywhere where you're trying to fit into this reality. Now, going one step back, years ago, about 10 years ago, I started doing a business. I had a person who was helping me with my business. They were a business coach. That's the word I'm looking for. And I tried to fit in with everything that they were telling me I should and shouldn't be doing. And that month I made $35. And I went from making about $3,000 a month to $35 a month because I was trying to fit in. I was trying to do everything mediocre. I was trying to do everything their way. And all of these judgments, all of these lies, all of these, everything that's mediocre about that. There was none of me left. So let's run that clearing again. What jail are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared with the comfortable distance of the reality of business are you choosing? And everything that is, will you now destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, on, and puck, pie, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Cool. Yeah.
Run it again, Sam.
Run it again, Sam. I think I might. I might put a bit of detail in there. So, what jail are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared with the comfortable distance of the reality of business systems, of business modalities, means, methods, and structures, and everything that is, will you now destroy that you are choosing, and everything that is, will you now destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, on, and puck, pie, shorts, boys and beyonds.
So the comfortable distance is everywhere where you get to this point where it's no longer comfortable, and then all of your judgments, all of the lies, all the agendas that are designed to keep you stuck in this reality comes up in your face. You don't want to deal with it, and so you push it further away. You push your business further away. You push your clients further away. You push the money away from you. You push your beloved away from you, your business partner away from you, you away from you, and it's much fun.
That's an awesome clearing, mate.
Yeah. Should we run it one more time, or?
Yes.
Okay. So, what jail are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared of the comfortable distance with your business systems, business structures, means, methods, and modality of business? And everything that you are choosing, and everything that is, will you now destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, on, our puck, pie, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah, and Karen says, perfect. I was so frustrated today trying to clean up the paperwork so I can set up for 2018. Needed this clearing this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, maybe I got it out of your head. Yeah. So, yeah, and paperwork is like the systems, but then often they're not systems, they're actually structures, and structures are very, very hard to change. So when we have systems, then systems can change a bit. So let's just run a little clearing around that. So everywhere where you've misidentified your systems as structures, that is, you cannot change it, or it takes a long time to change a structure. Like the government is a structure, yeah? You can't change it. You can change government, but the actual structure doesn't change. So it doesn't matter if you change government or not. You're just going to swing from one polarity to another polarity, and nothing ever really changes. So everywhere where you've misidentified your structures as systems that keep you stuck, will you now destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, on, our puck, pie, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Cool. Okay, so now we've done a few clearings. Once we've done some clearings, what we found is that you might be able to receive the tools in a totally different way, rather than us give you the tools and then clear it afterwards. So I'm going to hand it over to Andrew now, because I'm going to get stuck back into my Ribena.
Well, I might continue drinking my coffee anyway. Yeah.
And Yeah, we've got like 3 or 4 fabulous tools that will allow you to create more with your business.
Yeah, so what we're actually talking about is treating your business as an entity or a being in and of itself. You know, we do talk, well, the corporate world does talk about a business entity.
I get that.
Yeah, okay, well, you'll have to, because I can't do it. So, so it's you've got to actually talk to your business as an entity or as another being, or another way of looking at it is, you know, as your business partner. So, you know, with your business partner, would you yell and scream at them, or in order to create more, would you actually invite them to something greater? It's obviously, you know, inviting them to something greater. So this is what you can do with your business. So, you know, continue by simply asking your business questions. You are inviting it to greater, but you're also inviting yourself to greater, and everyone who is a part of that business, including your clients, your products, your services, and so on. You're inviting it all to greater. So, so we've got 3, I suppose, basic questions that we came up with earlier.
Can I just interject there, Andrew?
Yeah.
These 3 questions, there are a lot more, obviously.
Yes.
But I was really inspired by a couple in New Zealand called Rocco and Celia. And I actually read an article that will be released in the New Zealand newsletter later on. And they were talking about some of these tools as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is what I love about Access Consciousness, is that all of these tools go around and it starts to create, and you can pick bits and pieces from all over the place and start to add them to your tool belt. So by no means, these are not the only 3 tools in the world. There are 100 billion more that we've got in our pockets that we would like to share with you, and maybe we can do that in our 9-day program later on.
Yeah, we've got hammers and screwdrivers and pliers and all those kind of things as well. But they're not the type of tools, you know, these are actually questions. So the first one you would ask your business would be, where should we go? What should we do today? You know, that there is basically getting the business to reach out to other people, other sectors, other things. And then if you follow that energy, you know, that will lead you to actually more business. That is, where should we go and what should we do today?
And just because I'm a talk to the entities facilitator as well, what we need to do is look at our business as an entity. And even in mainstream business, we often talk about business as entities, you know, so it's not weird to actually talk with your business and use questions like this, because it is a created entity. You've either bought one off the shelf, so to speak, like a McDonald's, or you're creating one. Or even if you work in one and you want to have more fun, these questions will work with that. You're actually having a conversation with the entity of your business. And I know many of you talk to your cars, to your houses, to inanimate objects, and some people look at you like you're completely insane. But have you noticed that your cars and your houses work a little bit better than everybody else's? That it will give you an awareness of when something needs to be done, and people will go, "Wow, you're so lucky, you know, like if it had been my car, I would have blown the tire. I wouldn't have taken it in to have gotten it to sing just because there was a squeak." And that's because you're magic. That's because you're willing to talk to the molecules of your car, of your house, and of your business. Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, it's not only the willingness to actually talk to, you've actually got to be willing to receive from your business. So you can ask these questions, but if you're not willing to actually receive from the business, it's not only the money, it's actually totally receiving it, you may not actually get the awareness. So like, with the first question of, where should we go today and what should we do today? It's two questions there. When you ask that question, you might have to ask some follow-up questions like, well, would you like to go to this city or to that country or to this park or whatever? So it's basically designed to get the business to start opening up and expanding into new places, new areas, new possibilities. So it's where should we go today and what should we do today? The second one, who should we meet or talk to today in order to create more money right away? So again, you're asking the business. So the business will give you an idea or an awareness of where to actually go or who to meet, who to talk to. If you keep asking that question, again, you're going to get the awareness, and suddenly, you might be driving to work, and suddenly you take a detour and you get stopped by an accident or something, and you have to get out of the car. You start talking to someone. That could well be the business inviting you to actually talk to this person. So who should we meet today or talk to today in order to create more money right away? Again, it is an invitational question. It's inviting the business to reach out, you're inviting the business to show you what it is, rather than you pushing it, rather than you driving it. You've got to talk to the business as if it was your best friend, your lover, your. I can't think of another.
Does that mean I get to have sex with my business?
You can. No one else can. Well, talking to it like that, it's much more invitational than talking to it as like how some people treat their dogs. Some people kick their dogs. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, I'd like to throw in another question there.
Yeah.
And again, this was one that I was talking about with Michelle Edhouse the other day, and it's like you can add this question: does my business require something of me today? Rather than what does my business require of me, because you've already decided that it requires something from you. It may not actually require anything of you that day, and so you can go and have some fun in the park or go for a mountain bike ride like me or whatever that is. And that actually may be one of the things that you need to talk to. It's not just who do I need to talk to make money, but also who do I need to talk to. So it could be that you're on your bike riding along and you talk with your bike, and it's giving you an awareness of what you can do with your business or what you can do with your clients or whatever. So that's another great tool to add. What does my business require anything today? And if you get a yes, and if things are like, that's a yes. Then you can ask, so what does it require? And you can get more clarity with it with a more detailed question.
Yeah, obviously these questions is based on one of the 10 commandments of access, being in the question. So constantly asking your business questions. Who do I need to talk to? Where can I make money? So on and so on. So the third question is, what can we be and do different to create a profitable business? We all know how to create a non-profitable business. You just have to do nothing.
Exactly. Well, actually, that's not true, Andrew, because a lot of people do so much that they're not willing to receive. It's actually the doing that becomes the wall to receiving. Mm-hmm. And doing and being are so totally different. Now, when you are actually doing from being, then you're receiving from your business. But when you get into just the do, it becomes a pile of do, a pile of poo, literally. Because how many of you guys just like to do the do because that's what's you've decided is required. It's like working on a factory floor where you just push the button. I mean, how many of you guys like doing that? How many of you guys like doing sex from, first of all, we kiss, then we touch the breasts, then we go down to the belly, and then we start to move further south. But that's the 1, 2, 3. And what we found is most people that we work with are not interested in that. They like to have change. And so if you're just doing all the time, you've got to look at what can I receive and what can I be?
And what can I do and be different?
Yeah.
So which is that question. What can I do and be different to create a profitable business?
And it's not what can I change, it's what can I be and do different. It's like you're all sitting in your chairs right now listening to us blab on. And like if you want to make a change, then you can change your position in the chair. That's a change. But if you want to do something different, then getting up and leaving the room, that is something different. So, so doing a change and different are different. So everywhere where you've misidentified. Yeah, thank you. So everywhere where you've misidentified change as different, would you now be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that, please?
Yes. Right. Run with that on our Bob Shorts, boys and beyonds.
That's awesome. How does it get any better than that?
Yeah. So we do have that. That's the 3 questions. Where should we go today and what should we do today? Second is, who should we meet or talk to today in order to create more money right away? Third one being, what can we be and do different to create a profitable business? Keep asking those 3 questions and just watch your business start to expand. Obviously, there are follow-on questions as well. They would be specific to your business.
Yeah. How does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to put an email in the chat, but I can't. A link in the chat. We do actually have. If you would like to buy these clearings, you can purchase them for $10. And we'll send them out to you. Can you put that link in? I can't seem to get the links. My chat working for some reason.
Yep, I'll grab it. So.
Oh, I've done it. Done it. Woohoo!
Okay, you did it.
Thank you for the question. What can I be and do different? Because as soon as I asked that question, I saw a little tab in the chat, and I was able to click on that, and then I could put that in. So
cool.
That's how simple these tools can be. They can open up the doorways that look very simple, but next time that happens, I know it as well. So I'll be stepping into my knowing.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to open it up to just 5 minutes of questions before we toddle off and do some more business. So has anybody got any questions? No? Good.
That'll be no.
So what we'd like to do is we'd like to invite you all to our 3-month, which will be starting in February, 3-month business class. It's called a 100K Adventure into Business. And without the gobbledygook in the background. and it's $1,000, but if you sign up today, we're going to give you 10% off. And here is the link if you'd like to have a look at that. If you're unsure at the moment, what we'd invite you to do is to email us and just put in the subject line in there 10% adventure deal, and we'll and you can receive, it's got, these are my instructions, you see. You will receive a pamphlet from us electronically, obviously, telling you more about the class, what we'll be doing and what we would like to create with that. But basically, what Andrew and I, about 3 years ago, we were asking these very questions that we're talking about and many more, and we were doing clearings around business. And in 2016, our businesses skyrocketed. And within, I don't know, it was about 3 months for me, maybe a bit longer than that. I hit the 100,000K mark, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. And my friend and co-facilitator, Corey Michelle, I heard her once say that once you make your first 100,000, everything is a lot easier after that. And I don't want to sell that as a point of view, because that could be a limitation, but it certainly worked for me. Once I hit that amount, everything started to open up and become a lot more ease. It wasn't about the money anymore. It wasn't about having to do or create my business for the money. It was just from the creation of the joy of it. And of course, you can do that from just making $20,000 a year or whatever it is. You don't need to make the 100,000K before you can have the joy of it. So Andrew and I then realized that what we did to create that was so different. And we both work very differently, and yet somehow we pulled it together and we created a lot of money in a very short period of time. And we wanted to share with you all the tools that we use, all the clearings, all of the all
the systems, everything that we put in place in order to create that.
Yeah, all the systems, all the technical systems, all of this realities systems, and we're gonna split the class into like 3 sections, like we have done today. Each class that we're going to do, whether it's on a topic like being a leader of your business, or whether it's on a topic like tax, we're going to split it into one. We're going to do the clearing, so we'll work on clearing our points of view. Then you can receive the tools and the information, or the pragmatic part. So it will be clearings first, then we'll be doing a lot of work with the tools to create that, and then we'll go into the pragmatics of this reality, the practical side of things. For instance, tax, there are some actual practical know-hows on how to work around the tax system, so that you get it working for you, rather than you working for the ATO, as we say in Australia, the Australian Tax Office. And in that way, you get this 1, 2, 3 approach, which we've been using for the last couple of years to create quite successful businesses. And the idea is that because it's the one part of the 100K Club, is that we're looking at creating businesses 100K and beyond. So if that's of interest to you, either register now or send me an email on that email address. We will then send you a pamphlet that will tell you much more in detail about what we're going to be looking at. We've been developing this now for about 2.5 months or so, actually putting in
something like that, yeah.
The steps and the places and the bits and pieces and the topics, and so it's going to be a really well-rounded package. We're going to be throwing in a few private sessions, each with each of us, etc., like a phone a friend session. Like you need one of those. Andrew is my phone a friend. Andrew.
Yes, Liam's my phone a friend. I've also got a friend who's laying on the couch.
Yeah. Cool.
My lovely wife.
We can rent the one out on the couch.
That's a different business.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and we can even help you with that sort of business too, if you'd like it. Yeah, I actually have. That's interesting. I actually have assisted several people now in those sorts of businesses, and some of them are quite successful.
Okay, cool.
Happy endings. I mean.
Yeah. So as Liam said, we're going to be starting that in February. We will be sending out some more details about it. And if you really want to know more about it, just send Liam the email with the detail about business adventure.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming around the world. It's been amazing, and I'd love to also just acknowledge the Access Consciousness tools. Every time I think my life is stuck and that they don't work, I ask another question, another door opens, and I go, what was I thinking? Oh, yeah, thinking is thinking. How does it get any better than that?
And I'd like to thank Liam.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to thank me too. Oh, no, that's the bit where I say I'd like to thank Andrew too.
Oh, right. Yes, okay. And it's goodbye from me. And, yeah, no.
And it's goodbye from me. So goodbye, everybody. I hope you have an amazing 2018, whatever you choose. I'd like to contribute to you. And thank you, everybody on the 100K Club. We'll be posting this up on there at some stage. But we'd just like to give you guys the first dibs on that 10% as well, 10% off the off on the class. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Liam.
And we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
See you, Lorena.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
That was cool.